Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Jesse Kinyua. We are looking at the business model canvas, BMC. Business canvas model is a very good model for entrepreneurs and already existing businesses. And it helps in showing how a company can create value for itself while at the same time delivering goods and services to its customers. It shows how a firm intended to make income and sustain itself financially. So business model canvas will help us in considering out when coming up with a new business venture. So whenever you're coming up with a new business, it will help us to think through the entire processes and to see how we are going to generate income and how you are going to manage all our processes to be able to make some profit. So an already existing company may want to diversify to invest in different areas from what it is currently doing, and in so doing, the business, the BMC will come in handy because it will guide the management in all the processes and seeing how we are going to deliver our products and our services to our customers. So the BMC is a strategic tool that would quickly and easily define and communicate business ideas or concept. So it helps us to communicate the business idea or the concept to anyone who want to see the model, the entire model of that particular business and how you are planning to generate your income. It can enable one to quickly draw a picture of what the business idea is all about. So by looking at the business canvas model, someone who has been so keen about that particular area or that business will be able to see areas that may need to be improved upon, and that can help in enhancing the performance of the business. So it will enable the managers to go through all the building blocks and to critically think about the value that will be offered to the customers and how the business will in turn make income. So in the model, we have like 9 compartments or sections. And the first section that we concentrate in is the value proposition. Because as a business, you are there to create value for your customers. And the value proposition suggests how you are going to generate value, how you are going to create value, and how you are going to distinguish yourself from other competitors. What kind of value or what need are you addressing for your customers, or what problem are you seeking to address? So the value proposition in the canvas model is used to refine an existing, you can use it to refine an existing product or service offering, or where a new offering is being developed. Maybe from the scratch, you want to start a new line of business, you want to start a new strategic business unit that is under the umbrella of the same organization. So how are you going to do it? So it ought to show clearly how that new business is going to be implemented, the implementation of the strategy, how you are going to manage costs, and how you are going to create value to your customer. So it is about the problem or the need that the customers are trying to solve. How are you helping them to solve that problem as a business, as an entrepreneur? The other compartment is the customer segment, and under this segment, you need to analyze your potential customers, and you need to know how they are, how your customers are segmented. Can you segment your customers into various segments so that you can you are able to know how you are going to satisfy your customers in various market segments. And various set of customers can be therefore segmented into different markets segments so that you articulate how every section is going to be, how you're going to address the needs of both of your clients or groups of clients for that matter. Ordinarily, you find that a market is rarely a homogeneous group of customers, but you find that you can segment the market into various sections, and therefore you need to see how can you market your product to every segment in that particular market. So this will enable the firm to maintain the true customer focus, because there is this adage that goes that customer is the king. And to some extent, we can see that this is true, because it is the customer who determine whether you're going to produce goods or services. Because whenever they go to the retail shop and they buy that particular product, they are the one to decide which product, because there are so many products in the on the shelves, and it's the customer to decide which one to pick, which one to buy. And by so doing, it's like they are voting for the production of that particular product. Therefore, customer is the king, and you need to really focus on this segment to see how you are going to satisfy your customer. We have another component, another segment, which is the channels of distribution. And this one stipulates how you are going to bridge the gap. How are you going to deliver the product to your customer or the service to your customer? And therefore, it is paramount that you ponder how your product will reach your customer. Because until the product or service is used or bought, purchased by your customers, then you have not yet accomplished your objective. And therefore, a firm should deliver its value proposition to its targeted customers through different channels. You may want to think the most ideal channel that you can use, that is cost effective, and that will deliver value to your customers. So effective channels will distribute a company value proposition in ways that are fast, efficient, and cost effective. You need to ensure that your product can reach your customer very fast, very efficiently, and you also need to focus on costs. Are you able to manage the costs? Are you able to bring your costs down? You need to map your customers. As they interact with your business, you need to map them, and you can categorize them into various segments, as you have mentioned, so that you know the distribution channel that is most ideal. For instance, you'll find that some of your customers will purchase your product through the e-commerce, and therefore they can buy your product directly. Some of the product have to go through the wholesalers to the retailers, and then the retailers will make them available to the customer. If you do this, it will help clarify the point of engagement between you and your customers, and you'll be able to know the modes used to relate to your customers. How are you going to relate to your customers? Revenue stream is another segment in the model that you need to ponder about, and this is the way a company makes income from each customer, because you are there to provide value to your customer. You are there to do business, and therefore at the end of the day you need to generate some income, and you need to know, after coming up with this good idea, is it, and you have now commercialized it, is it generating income? How is it going to generate income? We need to think about that, and there are several ways that you can generate revenue streams. And one way is the usage fee, charge some usage fee. Maybe you are offering a product, and by offering that product, you may need to charge usage fee. Some other product or services could be charged subscription fee, like we may say in maybe online products, licensing. You can generate income by licensing. For instance, if you want to move to many foreign markets, the easiest way is not foreign direct investment. You may want to license other firms to produce the product on your behalf through licensing, and by so doing, you will be able to move to other markets and you maximize your income. We also have brokerage fee. You can think about brokerage fee. It will depend on the type of business. Advertising. Some platforms, some products, like a social media platform, they generate most of their income through advertisement fee, and you will need to think which one is ideal for you. Key resources is another area, is another segment that you want to think about, and these are about the resources that you need to employ in your farm to be able to generate the income. So these resources could include, for instance, the human capital. You need financial resources for your operation costs to be able to pay for the bills that are coming every month. The physical and intellectual property. Maybe you have some intellectual property because your product may have come through innovation, and maybe you have patented it, and therefore that will give you a competitive edge because you'll be able to produce your product for some time. So one such key resource is therefore capital, because you need capital to be able to roll out your business, to be able to offer that service or that particular manufacture that product. And you may not have all the financial resources, but if you can put your ideas in a business plan, for instance, you'll be able to attract credit facilities from various financiers, and that way you'll have the ability now to start producing, and you can start growing from that point. We also have the cost structure. Cost is a key element in every business. You need to think about it. So you cannot start a business and you are not thinking about the cost structure of your business, because for you to maximize your revenue, you need to bring your cost down. Cost per unit of the product produced, if you're able to push it down, will be more competitive. So before a company embark on producing any product, we may need to understand the nature of various costs. We need to understand the fixed cost, the average cost, and all type of costs that are involved in your business. You may also need to think about the most ideal plant size for the sake of enhancing or maximizing production. So what is the most ideal plant size? That is an area, or that is something that you need to think even beforehand, before even you buy the plant. You need to know the ideal size of the plant or equipment that is going to minimize on cost, because the larger the plant, the better, because it will help in lowering the cost per unit. But again, you may not have all that resources to buy a very big plant, so you may start from small, and with the time you're able to grow. So you need to think about the cost-driven element of your cost. This business model, therefore, will focus on minimizing all costs. If you are focusing on driving your costs, you will focus on minimizing all costs and have no frills. For instance, we have, in the case of airlines, you find that we have low-cost airline. At the same time, we have other airlines who charge premium charges. If you focus on value-driven model, then these will be less, you'll be less concerned with the costs. You'll be focusing on driving or creating value for your products or services, and that way you will generate income from that. We also have the key activities in that model. So you need to think about key activities, and you need to know the most important thing that must be done to make the business model work. What is that key activity or key issue that you need to think about so that if you deliver it very well, then your business will do well. So, for instance, if the farm is in the production, you need to think about how you are going to enhance your productivity, probably by using maybe capital-intensive equipment, or could you be in problem-solving business? If your business is meant to help your client to solve problems, you also need to know the key activities that you need to think about. So this will depend on the core business and the scope of your business. The core business will help us to know the key activities that we need to focus on. And therefore, you may want to adopt top-notch technology that can give you a competitive edge in the market. If you have the capability, the financial capability to buy the modern technology in that industry, it will help you in improving efficiency and driving down costs. You also need to think about partners. We cannot all the time be competing with be strategizing how we are going to compete. At times we want to partner. So partnership is a critical strategy. So you may need to consider, for instance, you may not have to do all the activities. You may want to outsource non-core business activities, for instance, security services. It could be some cleaning services, health services. If they are not core to your business, you may want to partner with other service providers who are able to provide these services seamlessly, and you concentrate in the core business that you are doing. So alliances can be considered through, for instance, having joint ventures or forming strategic alliances between competitors or non-competitors. For instance, if yours is an airline industry, is an airline firm, maybe you have started airline business, you may want to think about how are we going to form network, how are you going to form alliances with other network, because you cannot take your customer to every destination that they are going. You may want to form network with other airlines so that after reaching certain destination, your customers will be taken by your alliances or partners to the final destination. Some types of partnership, we, for instance, have strategic partnership. For non-competitors, you may want to think about forming strategic partnership with the non-competitors who are likely to enhance your performance so that there is a mutual benefit. Whenever you form partnership, you find that you will be benefiting, and their other partner will also be benefiting, because you could be very strong in certain areas but weak in some other areas. So you'll be taking advantage of the strength of your partner, and your partner will also take advantage of your strength. And by so doing, there will be a lot of learning. You learn from each other, and you are able to be more competitive in all areas. You can also form strategic partnership with competitors. It can also give you competitive edge, but you have to think of partners who are your competitors, whom you can partner with. You can also form joint ventures to develop maybe new businesses. In case, for instance, you want to invest in a certain industry, and capital, we know that there is always a constraint in capital, and you may want to form a joint venture with other like-minded firms that may be interested in the same business that you want to venture into, and by so doing, you'll be able to accumulate more capital to undertake that business. Take for instance, oil exploration. Crude oil exploration is a very expensive venture, and you may want to form joint ventures with other like-minded firms so that you can undertake your venture or your exploration in certain areas. Buyer-supplier relationship is also another area you can think about, because if you have very good relationship with your suppliers, it means that you'll be able to take your product to the final destination without any hitch. When it comes to acquiring raw materials, you will also acquire those raw materials within a very short time, because you have a very good relationship. Probably you have interconnected network or systems, so that you are able to order very fast the raw material or components, and you can produce your product very fast. So in conclusion, business model canvas is a strategic tool that can quickly and easily define and communicate business ideas or concepts. It will enable managers to have a clear picture of what that business idea is all about and how that business is going to generate income. What type of income is it generating? Is it subscription fee? Is it are you pricing your product? So you need it to be very clear on how you are. It will help you to have clarity on how income will be generated in that business. And therefore, for an entrepreneur, you'll find that if you use this model, it will clear any doubt how the income will be generated. It also prompts one to think about what is being offered to the customer and how the business will in turn make income. What are you offering to your customer? What value are you offering to your customer? What are the costs of offering that, giving that value or offering, and how are you going to generate income? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking your time to listen. You can click on the like button, make a comment so that we can always improve on our content delivery, and remember to subscribe. Thank you and God bless.